Want to get more streams, more followers, and more monthly listeners on Spotify? Well, you're in the right place because in this video, I'm going to let you in on some actionable steps that you can take right now to grow on Spotify fast. Let's get started. What's up guys, Justin here, and in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how you can grow on Spotify very quickly. But first, we need to address what it means to grow on Spotify. In what way do you want to grow? In what ways can you grow? Well, typically when we talk about growth on Spotify, the primary metrics that you're probably looking at would be how many streams are you getting, or how many followers do you have, how many monthly listeners do you have. Those are really the main metrics that most artists are referring to when talking about growth, especially streams and monthly listeners, because those are the metrics that are displayed publicly. When listeners go to your artist profile, they can see how many monthly listeners you have and how many streams your most popular tracks have. Beyond streams, monthly listeners, and followers, other growth metrics that artists commonly monitor would be the number of times that tracks are saved or added to playlists. So when we talk about growing on Spotify and growing on Spotify as fast as possible, we first need to determine what your objective is. What are you trying to grow? Because if you want to get more followers, your approach is going to be very different than if you simply want to get more streams. Another thing that you need to be aware of if you want to grow fast as possible, is that it's going to cost you. The more money you spend, the faster you can grow. Now, everything that I'm about to share with you can be done on a small budget, or in some cases for free, no budget required. You can grow on Spotify using the methods that I'm about to share with you without spending any money, but it's no longer going to be fast. You can grow on Spotify fast, or you can grow on Spotify for free, but you're not going to be able to do both. Does it happen? Sure, it's possible if you're extremely lucky, but it's very rare. I don't teach hope and pray music promotion here on this channel, so we're gonna have to take luck out of the equation. Now, let's talk about real actionable stuff that you can do to grow on Spotify. First, we'll start with the vanity metrics, the stuff that people can actually see on your artist profile, your monthly listener count and your stream count. So the fastest, easiest, most cost-effective way to get more streams and more monthly listeners is to get added to big playlists with lots of followers. Why is that? Well, it's because your music being plugged into an existing audience. It's like having your music placed in a movie. If 1 million people see the movie, then effectively 1 million people hear your music. It's the same thing with a playlist. If a playlist has 1 million monthly listeners and your track gets added to the top of that playlist, now your track is getting 1 million monthly listeners. So there are 3 ways that you can get your music added to popular playlists. 1, a computer does it. In other words, Spotify's algorithm picks up your track and adds it to an algorithmically generated playlist like Discover Weekly, Release Radar, or Daily Mixes. Number 2, a human being does it because they like your music and they think it's a good fit for their playlist that they curate. Or number 3, and give yourself a pat on the back if you saw this one coming, you can pay for it. Like I said before, you can grow fast or you can grow for free, and this video is about growing fast, so let's start there. The fastest and easiest way to get more streams and more monthly listeners on Spotify is to pay a playlist submission service to get your music added to popular Spotify playlists. I would not recommend using a service simply because you saw an ad on Instagram or by doing a quick Google search. There are lots of scams out there, and scams are not a good way to grow on Spotify. If you want to quickly and easily get added to popular Spotify playlists, my recommendation would be Playlist Push. It's not cheap. The minimum budget required to run a playlist push campaign is going to be around $300 to $400, depending on your genre of music, and then the sky's the limit from there. But if you do decide that you want to give Playlist Push a try, you can get 7.5% off your first campaign by using promo code EYR5F9Y. Playlist Push makes it super easy to get your music added to popular playlists. Simply submit the track you want to promote, and their staff will review it to make sure it's a good fit for their network of playlist curators. You should hear back from them within about 24 hours, and if your track's approved, you'll simply set up your campaign. So you'll choose some artists that are similar to you, select the genres of playlists that you want to target, set your budget, and select your start date. Use the promo code I mentioned at checkout to get an instant discount on your first campaign, and you should start seeing your music added to playlists within a day or 2 of your campaign start date. Now, over the next 2 weeks, you'll see your track being added to more and more playlists. And one thing you should be aware of here, though, is that the duration of your placement will vary from one playlist to another. Sometimes it'll be a week, maybe for another playlist you'll get added for a month, sometimes for a year, sometimes permanently. Just something to keep in mind, but in any case, having your music added to popular playlists is one of the fastest, easiest, and most cost-effective ways to get more streams and more monthly listeners. You can get your music added quickly and easily using a service like Playlist Push, or alternatively, you could contact playlist curators yourself. Some are going to charge you, some might not, and you have a few options here. So one of the best alternatives to Playlist Push, if you don't have the budget for a Playlist Push campaign, would be to use Submit Hub. You can use Submit Hub to submit your music to bloggers, influencers, and playlist curators. Now they have a free tier that allows you to submit your music for free, and they also have premium credits which help you get faster results. And I have a series here on this channel that I'll link to in the video description where I'm joined by Submit Hub founder Jason Grishkoff, who gives some really valuable tips for using the platform most effectively. So if you're interested in trying out Submit Hub, I would highly recommend that you go watch those videos first. That'll help you save a lot of time, a lot of money, and get better results with your submissions. Now I have another video that I'll also link to in the description that explains how to contact playlist curators directly on your own without using Submit Hub or a playlist submission service like Playlist Push. And if you want to have your music added to an official Spotify playlist, you can submit your music directly to Spotify's editorial staff. And this can help you get added to huge official Spotify playlists that have millions of followers and can really help your music blow up. Now, getting added to a popular official Spotify playlist is one of the ways that you can blow up overnight without spending any money on promotion because it's free to submit your music. But with 50,000 tracks being uploaded to Spotify every single day, the chances of that happening are usually pretty slim, but it's easy to do and it's free, so it's a good best practice for all of your releases. And who knows, your track might get added and you could have tons of new fans overnight. You can submit your music to Spotify editors from within your Spotify for Artists dashboard. If you don't have that yet, just go to artist.spotify.com to claim your artist profile. You will need to have music on Spotify before you do that, just FYI. Once you're inside your Spotify for Artists dashboard, you'll be able to pitch your new release to Spotify editors. Make sure that you upload your new releases at least 6 weeks prior to the release date to give Spotify staff plenty of time to review your track. Again, 50,000 tracks are uploaded daily, so there are a lot to go through. Now, once your upcoming release has been distributed to and received by Spotify, it'll show up in the music section of your dashboard under Upcoming, and there you'll have the option to pitch your track to Spotify editors. So that's how you get your music added to official Spotify playlists. I already went over how to get your music added to listener curated playlists, but what about Spotify's algorithmic playlists? Well, I'm not going to go too deep into that one in this video, but I do have some other videos on the channel that'll help you better understand how Spotify's algorithm works and how you can get your music added to Spotify's algorithmic playlist. So I'll link to those videos in the description of this video, along with all those other ones I was telling you about. So this video description is actually turning into quite the treasure trove of Spotify promotion training. So you might want to go ahead and save this video so you can come back to it. And if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, you might want to go ahead and do that too. In any case, playlists are great for getting more streams and more monthly listeners, but what about followers? And why do you want more followers in the first place on Spotify? What's the benefit of that? Well, anytime a listener engages with your profile or music, like following you, adding your music to a playlist, or tapping that little heart icon to save your track to their library, that shows Spotify's algorithm that the user likes your music, and it helps the algorithm develop what's called a taste profile. A taste profile is another way of just saying what type of music a person likes, or what artists, genres, songs, etc. Now, Spotify's algorithm develops taste profiles for all of its listeners and determines how your music will fit into listeners' taste profiles by analyzing who's engaging with your music, who's streaming it, who's saving it, who's adding it to playlists, and who's following you. The more engagement you get, the better, because it helps Spotify figure out who to share your music with. And followers are especially beneficial for you as an artist because all of your new releases are automatically added to your followers' release radar, which is where a lot of listeners discover new music by their favorite artists. So getting more engagement and more followers can really help you grow on Spotify. And you can certainly get more followers by having your music added to popular playlists, though it's not as many as you'd think. When it comes to getting more streams, playlists are great, but when it comes to getting more followers and engagement, playlists aren't really the best approach. And the reason is simply that when people are listening to a playlist, they're interacting with the Spotify platform in a very different way than when they go directly to your music or artist profile. When someone's listening to your music on a playlist, it's oftentimes just as background music. They aren't really paying a lot of attention necessarily. So if you want to get more engagement and more followers on Spotify, it's better to actively promote your music and send new listeners directly to your artist profile to stream your music and give them a call to action, remind them to follow you. Or you could use a service like Hyped It and create what's called a link gate, where you can promote your music and have new listeners click a button to follow you on Spotify before they can stream your music. And you can use Facebook and Instagram ads to promote your music and get new listeners to your link gate in the first place. Now, the process of actually doing all that is a little bit more involved than what I can cover in this video. We've covered quite a bit already, but if you would like to see a step-by-step demonstration of exactly how you can promote your music to get more followers and more engagement, I have some more in-depth training available that'll show you exactly how to do that as part of a private members-only community for independent artists called Music Promotion Insiders. To learn more about that and how you can become a member, just click the little icon in the upper right corner of the screen or check out the link in the video description. But suffice to say that my recommendation for quickly growing your followers on Spotify would be through Facebook and Instagram ads. So to recap, if you want to grow on Spotify as fast as possible, the first thing that you have to do is, of course, determine what your objective is and what way do you want to grow. If your primary goal is to get more streams and more monthly listeners, your best option is probably going to be to get your music added to popular playlists. The fastest way to do that would be using a playlisting service like Playlist Push. But paying a playlisting service isn't super cheap, so you'll have to pay for that. And that's one of the things you have to consider. You can grow fast or you can grow for free, but you're rarely going to be able to grow fast for free. But that doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money using a playlist service. You could always use Submit Hub to submit your music to playlist curators on your own, or you can reach out to curators directly. Again, there are a bunch of videos on all this stuff that you can check out in the video description. You can also submit your music to official Spotify playlists through your Spotify for Artists dashboard. And once you start getting added to playlists and you start getting more listeners and followers and engagement, you'll start to get noticed by Spotify's algorithm and get added to algorithmically generated playlists like Discover Weekly, Release Radar, and Daily Mixes. Which of course leads to another way that you might want to grow on Spotify besides just getting more streams, which would be to get more followers, more saves, more personal playlist additions, and all that engagement that's really going to help you get noticed by Spotify's algorithm and added to Spotify's algorithmic playlists. And the best way that you can grow quickly in that regard, at least what I would recommend for most independent artists, is to use Facebook and Instagram ads. But ultimately, if you really want to grow on Spotify, it's best to take a well-rounded approach of both playlisting and active promotion through ads, which you can learn more about as a Music Promotion Insider. If you're interested, just click the little icon in the upper right corner or the link in the video description to learn more about that. But that's going to wrap things up for this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please let me know in the comments below, and I'd love to hear any suggestions that you might have for future videos down in the comments as well. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. It's free to do and it helps me make more videos like this one. Just click that little bell icon to be notified as soon as new videos are released here on the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.